This is a real treat for Star Sport podcast listeners. Fresh from his gold medal winning exploits at the Olympics, we're joined by Fintan McCarthy. First off, Fintan, how's the body?
Oh, I'm not in great form now. Let's just say that. But no, it's been a really good few days of celebrating, and I'm sure we'll be fine after a few days rest and some good sleeps.
So you're on a quick visit back home. But before we talk about the Olympics and the medal winning exploits, talk to me about what happened in Dublin Airport on Tuesday night. He became social media hits again. Is it true that you hitched a lift from the airport down to Cork? Can you fill us in on what happened?
We did, yeah, we did. We met a lovely man on the flight, Kieran Duggan from Mallow, and he gave Paul and I a lift down. See, we weren't sure about dates flying home. I'm actually going back out tomorrow, so I kind of just came back to drop a million bags that we have collected over the last few weeks and kind of get myself sorted. But I'm going back out. Paul's starting work today, so we didn't really have anything organized for getting home. So thank God he saved the day really.
And where did you meet Kieran? Was it actually on the flight from Paris
On the
to?
flight, yeah. He was on our flight, so we weren't sure. We were gonna book the air coach, and then he just said, "Look, come on, get in the car. I'll take you back." So
I think as it comes to kind of arrivals back home of Olympic gold medal winning, I suppose heroes. It was one of the most low key ones that I've seen. That you were pushing the trolley through the airport and Paul was walking alongside. So were you trying to come in under the radar a small bit?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Like we didn't have any solid plans or anything like that, and I think yeah, we probably just wanted to get through and get back before the next few days. But no, it's still nice that everyone for everyone who was there and to see everyone. We had our physios with us on that flight too, and on all their family. So it was good to see people.
And did Kieran drop you right down to your doorstep?
Yeah, in fairness to him, yeah, we were in I'm in Ballincollig at the moment. Haven't made the journey home to Skib yet. That'll probably be next week. But yeah, in fairness, we got a door to door service. It was brilliant.
Yes, that VIP treatment that you deserve. And
Yeah, yeah.
you say you're flying back out to Paris, so for the closing ceremony, just talk to us a small bit about what the Olympics is like out there. Like it looks spectacular on TV, but what was it like to be part of it all?
Yeah, oh, it's amazing. There's some buzz, especially I know everyone probably says it about their own countries, but the Irish support over there is insane. Like especially after our race, it looked as if the whole grandstand was tricolours. It was actually unbelievable. And you'd be walking around Paris, even bumping into Irish supporters and just hearing how happy the whole thing's making them. There's people telling us it's been like the holiday of a lifetime. They're bringing their kids and thanking us for like rowing and stuff like that. So it's been, yeah, really cool. I can't wait to get back out there.
It's been incredible. I think more than half of Skib Arena has relocated to Paris for the last couple of
Yeah,
weeks. Talk about it. There was a huge chunk of Skib there on Friday for the Olympic
yeah.
finals. So let's chat about that for a second. Ahead of the final, did it feel like any other race? Could you sense that this one was different, or what was your feeling just kind of even an hour, half an hour before the race on Friday morning?
Yeah, no. Before the race, I felt very calm. I was kind of like horsing into the caffeine, trying to get myself going, and nothing was working. I was like, Jesus, I'm not nervous at all. Like, what's going on? Like, I thought there was something going wrong because like I like wasn't feeling like very very nervous, or like there was excitement obviously because I knew we could do well and do a good job. But usually your heart would be racing and all that. But I think that was probably just because we had a good few rounds and I think the confidence was back again. So it was just a matter of going out and doing what we knew we were capable of. Like we didn't have to rely on pulling something out of the bag or anything like that, which probably was the case a few months ago after in Lucerne. I think they were a few nerve wracking races because I knew we weren't, or I wasn't in top form, whereas yeah, I think this time it was just a case of trusting in the training and yeah, what we knew we were able to do.
Was the semi-final very important because like Switzerland had been going really well all year, and I think it was a 2.5 seconds you beat the Swiss by. Was that almost like a, not that you need a confidence booster, but almost a statement to yourself and Paul that you're in very good shape ahead of the final?
Yeah, I think definitely like we had the Swiss in the semi a few weeks ago or a few months ago too in Lucerne, and they gave us a really good race there and beat us. So I think maybe a small bit apprehensive going into that semi, knowing that it could have been a really tough race. But turns out we got off to a really good start and settled into a pretty strong rhythm early on. So we actually found ourselves ahead of them by halfway. Whereas usually, especially over the last couple of years, when we've been racing those guys, it takes us till maybe 1500 or nearly three-quarters of the way for us to actually catch them and get past them. So that was sort of, I guess, the first kind of clue as to how well we were going. And the race felt really good, and we didn't have to put in too much of a push at the end to secure the win. So I think that was definitely a good confidence boost, and kind of a sign that we were going well and back to our normal sort of speed.
Was that a change in approach for yourself and Paul in this Olympics? Because like you said there, you didn't have to put in that kind of that final quarter surge, almost your trademark, and that's the same with the final as well. You kind of made a kick after the 1,000 meters, and you're I'm not saying you're home and hose in that final quarter, but you are in control of the race. Was that just a different approach for you, or was it just how the races played out?
Yeah, I think it's just because we've had a really good training blocks. But yeah, before we came in, we're very fit. So I think it was just the way that middle pace played out. Like we were probably 1 or 2 seconds faster naturally per 500 in that middle. So it meant we weren't sort of chasing anyone with 250 to go. We could kind of just control the race and sit ahead and watch for pushes, and then we could respond to them if we needed to. So I wouldn't say we kind of went out and changed anything. We kind of just raced our own race. It turned out to be like pretty quick.
And looking at the final, then second half of that race, like I said, you were in control. Were you nervous at any point? Was there any point you were thinking we have this, or what was your own emotion? I suppose going through the second half of the race and going into the last 500 meters.
Um, yeah, I think because we were through the Italians and the Swiss by the halfway, I was pretty confident that we would have a good result, because usually they get off to a pretty good start, and we're chasing them a bit in the second half. Um, so we were through them. So I knew we could kind of keep going at the pace we were going and push on if we needed to. So I was pretty happy with that. But the Greeks actually put in a really good showing, and they were kind of neck and neck with us for a while. We didn't really expect that. I think we beat them well in the heat, and they had to come through the rep actually. So yeah, fair play to them. They had a great race, and came away with the bronze medal. I think they were only just a small bit behind Italy too.
Into the
So
second.
yeah, yeah. So but when you're in the race, you're kind of just counting boats and seeing how many are behind you. So I think coming into the last 500, I could see them anyway, which was like I could sort of see them to my left. Whereas usually if someone's level with you or ahead, they're just kind of in your peripheral, or you have to look. So the fact that I could see them, I was like, okay, this is fine. If it's only a minute and a half left, and we were kind of pretty comfortable until about 400 meters to go, and then we turned on the turbos, I guess, and just tried to bring it home as best we could.
You brought it home better than anyone else crossing the line. I think there was 2.5 seconds ahead of the Italians. So what's it like when you cross the finish line knowing you've won gold in Olympics? What's the emotion? What you actually feel in those few seconds afterwards?
Um, oh yeah, you're delighted, obviously. I think it's what we've been working for the last 3 years. You're kind of planning, planning to be at your best on that day. So it was nearly just a bit of a relief that we were able to do it. And then just seeing all the Irish supporters and people from the club and the family in the crowd was nearly not the best part, but it just different again. Like once you finish the race, you're just glad you've had a good race and kind of, I guess, high on the race and the fact that it felt really good um and winning, and then coming into the slip and getting the medal and seeing everyone and hearing the national anthem is like sort of a different experience. It's more like I guess a bit emotional. You're kind of thinking about all the what it's taken to get there, and just happy that there's so many people that are there kind of for you and supporting you. So that's, yeah, I think it can kind of be split up into different things.
And even for you after the race and after the medal ceremony, you meet up with your mom and dad and Jake and sister and so on. You think back to Tokyo, Fintan, where there was no family there, like, and for you to share this incredible moment with them, that must have been pretty special.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I think I got kind of taken in for anti-doping pretty quickly, but there's a rule where you don't have to go straight away. You can kind of get your medal, and the anti-doping man kind of has to follow you around till you're ready to go. And he was trying not to lose me in the crowd. I think there's a whole bunch of people kind of stayed behind after our press conference, and yeah, he was trying not to lose me in the crowd. He was getting pulled in every direction, but it was yeah, a big change from Tokyo. It was all FaceTime, and that kind of stuff then. So to see them in person and be able to like chat to them a bit about the race and just say thanks for everything straight away after was pretty good.
We've spoken before about, I suppose, how yourself and Paul deal with the expectation and pressure, but just on that, like, you probably couldn't sense it, but here back home, it's like the Irish lightweight double, or that's put down for a medal, most likely going to be gold. There was this expectation because yourself and Paul have achieved so much over the years. Does that ever kind of filter in towards you, the kind of what people outside your bubble are kind of expecting of the two of you?
I don't think so, really. Just mainly because like we expect so much from ourselves anyway, that you'd kind of be thinking about that more than what other people are expecting or thinking. And because I guess we demand such a high standard of ourselves every day in training as well. It doesn't really change when we're racing, because we know how fast we can go, and we know that on a good day it can be gold. And as well, I think once you ask that much yourself and you have done your best and put out a good race, whether it is gold or not, you can't do any more. So I think that's probably what we focus on more than I guess what other people are expecting.
What was it like to meet up with Dominic after the race? How were his first words towards you?
Good. He ran off after. I think he was wanting to de-rig the boat. We had it over at the medal pontoon for far too long, so he was pretty anxious for us to get back, and I think him and Paul de-rigged the boat and put it on the trailer while I was doing my anti-doping stuff. So that was kind of good for me, to be honest. I got to avoid a bit of work, but no, yeah, I think he was delighted as well. Like he always says he just wants us to get the best out of ourselves, and he doesn't ask anything more of us than to do our best, whether it's training or racing. So I think he was just happy that we were able to show what we can do and put out our best performance. And then yeah, I'd say he thinks of that as the job well done.
You were staying out in a hotel near the kind of the Rome venue kind of before the games, but then you got into Paris after How was that like actually getting into the centre of it all where the Olympics was kind of taking place? Did you get a real sense then for kind of almost the size of the spectacle and what an Olympics is like a real Olympics is really like?
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. I think um we're a bit secluded in our hotel, which was a good thing. It allowed us to fully focus on the regatta, and we were getting, really good food and really good sleeps. But it was nearly like two different events once we got into Paris. Everything's geared towards the Olympics. There's like streets shut down. There's rings everywhere. There's loads of police. So yeah, you do get a sense of the scale of it, and it's all everyone's talking about, and there's nearly as many people from other countries as there is French people, because obviously everyone's over supporting and enjoying the games, and it's yeah, I guess it's just that Olympic buzz.
Some of the stories have drifted back home, I suppose, from the weekend, and one is of Darrell Lynch's medal ended up around the neck of a dog. Is there
Yeah,
any more good stories from the weekend? To kind of what was the highlight for you of your weekend in Paris after winning gold?
yeah, that medal is not in good shape. I think a cool one was we got to do the walk. We kind of there's a bit of a catwalk in front of the Eiffel Tower, and there was a big crowd there. We kind of got to go and parade the medal around, I guess. That was pretty good. We They kind of split you into sports as well, so we got to do it with all the other rowing medalists. So that was nice, and it's funny because you're watching. Obviously, we're huge rowing fans too, and seeing all the other medalists there, and sort of having a chat with them about their racing and stuff. That was really cool. And I think at one point I was on top of Ollie Zeidler's shoulders having a dance in front of like 15,000 people or something. So that was a core memory, I think, for sure.
But is it really important, Fintan, to enjoy moments like this? Like you've worked for years towards these Olympics, and it turned out thankfully so well for you. But just to instead of moving on to the next thing straight away, that you've had this time just to enjoy yourselves and almost kind of just bask in the glory of what you've achieved.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely enjoy it for a few more days. The panic of what to do next hasn't set in just yet. I'm sure it will very soon. But yeah, I think I'll probably take the next few days and few weeks to sort of let it all soak in, and then I guess slowly start making a plan. They say you should have one ready to go, um, so you can get straight into it. I think Paul's done that. He's back to work today, so and he's going to the World Champs as well next week. But I think for me, especially after the year, I kind of just wanted to really focus in on rowing and make sure that the last sort of 2 months leading into the games was just fully about rowing, and I wasn't making any huge plans or thinking about after, which I don't know, I might come to regret it now next week, but we'll see what happens.
Just on that for a second, Fintan, like you said, there, kind of you had suppose a kind of a rough kind of start to the year where you were kind of a small bit of injury and a small bit of illness too, and so on. Was there any moments in that where you were like, "Oh God, I have a lot to make up here now before the Olympics"? Did you, any moment you doubted yourself, or had you always got the confidence in your ability to know that you could get back to that level?
Yeah, well, I think when you think about it, like logically, I knew that it would be fine and we would be able to be at a good level, but it's very different sort of when you're in the midst of it and you've missed however many weeks of training, and your scores are down the drain, and the boat's going slow, and you're trying not to piss fall off because you're so unfit. Um, like it's going to be okay in 7 or 8 weeks when if you stick at it, but in those moments when it's really not going well, I guess you are kind of, it's hard to see how it could ever get better, because right now it's really really bad. So I think in those moments, yeah, definitely I was having to just tell myself to trust the process big time. And then after maybe a week or two, you can kind of see yourself improving. And yeah, and it doesn't take a huge amount of time to kind of get back to normal. But I think, yeah, definitely in it there was a lot of doubt. And following Lucerne too, like in the end, I guess we were pretty happy with the margin, seeing as it wasn't too big, and we both knew there's a lot more to come out of the boat. But still, when you're afterwards, it feels like a huge disaster, and we've lost by the biggest margin we've ever lost by. Um, so so yeah, I think yeah, that probably explains it well enough.
It's a testament to you, Fintan, that you've got back to where you are now. You're part of a very exclusive club. 4 Irish people ever have only won 2 Olympic gold medals. Yourself, Paul, Kelly Harrington last night, and Dr. Pat O'Callaghan. Like, kind of, do you almost have to pinch yourself? Like, you've 2 Olympic gold medals to your name, Fintan. Like, that's
I know.
mind-boggling.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to be honest. Like obviously you don't spend any time thinking about it during the year or any time really. You're just kind of trying to train it and do your best and do well. But sometimes when you put it into perspective, it just doesn't sound real when you say it to me. So I kind of just immediately write it off as like, oh yeah, that's not right. But yeah, it's pretty cool to when you really think about it.
That's class. Final question. Will there be a third Olympic medal in the line? Like you said, you haven't even given thought to what the future looks like for the next couple of weeks. So I'm presuming 4 years' time, you don't know what life is going to look like. But is it
Exactly,
Paul
yeah.
already kind of said he's going down the heavyweight route? Is it something that you're open to? Or are you just going to wait and see, or what's your suppose your first thoughts or first reaction to it?
I think it's really easy to say that it's gonna happen again after this week. We had such a good regatta, and I am on such a high that I'm like, no, I never ever want to quit rowing. So I think we'll definitely have to give it a shot. We're pretty close to the heavyweights on time as well. I think our time was a good bit faster than the heavyweight double winning time as well. So like it's not like it's going to be a massive, massive step up and a huge challenge. I think we'll have to tweak a few things for sure, but hopefully we would be able to be competitive. Um, but yeah, like you said, 4 years is a long time, so I think we'll just have to take it day by day for a while, and then make a bit of a plan and see what happens. But I wouldn't, I wouldn't write it off. I think I just love rowing and racing hard and getting medals, I guess. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Super. And the very final one, in a couple of weeks' time, there'll be a homecoming in Skibbereen to rival all homecomings. How much are you looking forward to that? Just coming back down to where you're from, where you grew up, where you learned to row, where your friends and family are, and just to celebrate with everyone down in Skib.
Yeah, hugely looking forward to that. I think we've missed um we've missed a lot down there over the last few years, and just to catch up with everyone really, and give back a bit and say thanks to everyone for all the help and support will be great.
Yes. Enjoy the closing ceremony this weekend, Fintan, and thanks for coming on.
I will, no worries, thanks. See ya.
Don't miss this Thursday's Southern Star, where we have 9 pages of Olympic coverage as we follow the exploits of our local heroes over in Paris. Obviously, Paul and Fintan's incredible gold gets the gold treatment in the Star Sports section. So check out our pages and pages on that. Also, Nicola Tuttle shined on the Olympic stage in her Olympic debut on Sunday morning. We chat to Aoife Casey, who finished 5th in the lightweight women's double final, to get her take on her Olympic experience and the race itself. David Hart started the Irish men's hockey team in Paris. Emily Hegarty finished 7th overall in the Irish women's 4. And we also chat to Joan Healy about her sister Phil, who will become a 2-time Olympian this Friday with the Irish women's 4x400 metre relay team. Plus, Joan Healy actually breaks down the different legs of the 4x400 meter relay. They explain their importance and what each runner needs to do. So loads of reading in this Thursday Southern Star, and all our Olympic coverage is in partnership with Cork County Council.